Hi, welcome to another video from eDesign Solutions. In this video, we're going to be continuing with our introductory course, showing you the Moonfruit controls and how you could use them. So, in this video, we're going to show you the Edit menu. If you click on Edit, so this is how it looks when the page first loads up. When you click on Edit, it will expand, show the Edit menu. We have here page and page master. These are things that I can cover in another video, but just to summarize, the page option shows you the actual page that you're editing, and the page master, this shows all the elements that will be cascaded across all pages throughout the site, and I can demonstrate that. Right now I'm on a page called Home 2. If I also select this option and go to the contact page, you can see that the header here is consistent with the header of the home page. And that's because these elements are on the page master. Right. So below the page master you have duplicate, and this enables you to, obviously, as the name suggests, to duplicate elements. So if I also select this title here, I can click duplicate, and that will just make an exact copy of the element that I had. Now, if we want to copy this to another page, we can click copy, and then I'm going to switch to the contact page. It's asking me if I want to save the page. I can click yes, and then I'll just paste that element, so the same element gets pasted to the contact page. So let's go back, and we'll continue exploring. Now I want to delete this. I'll just click on delete, and I'll select yes, I do want to delete them. You can choose to select all elements on the page if you want to move everything all at once, which is quite handy, I think. So if you want to realign everything to the page, you can select everything. And then if I've sort of made a mistake, I can just click the undo button, and that'll set everything back. I can click it multiple times to go back to the way things were. I can also redo everything as well if I want to reinstate those changes. I'll just click undo for now. Right. And then I can also revert to the last saved position. So these elements here, as you can see, these icons here are also reflected in the quick options menu here. So the delete icon is there. There's a copy, paste, undo, redo. So those are the same options that you have here. We also have beneath that an arrange options. These enable you to move elements behind one another. So as you can see here, we have a blue box and we have some text above it. If I select the text and I click send backwards, it's going to send it back one layer. And because everything is sort of stacked above each other, it will send it. It'll send it back to the page, so it'll go all the way back. And then, so I want to select this blue rectangle and send it back as well. I can send that back. I can bring it forward to the front. If I send it backwards, this is the one that sends it back one layer at a time. So if we have multiple elements above each other, let's say I want to bring to front, and I have multiple elements here. I'll bring this to front, and if I want to put the text beneath the orange object but above the blue object, what I'll do, I'll click send backwards, and that will send it back one object at a time. And also bring forwards does it that way as well. Whereas bring to front and bring to back, and center back, sorry, center back sends it all the way to the back, and bring to front, positions it all the way to the front, if that makes sense. Right, I'm just going to quickly undo all of that because I didn't want my page to look messy at this particular moment. Right, I'll send that to back, and I'll just delete that. Moving on, we have align. So I collapse this. We can align elements to one another. So for instance, if I have this text over here to the right, and I need it to be flush to the edge of this text box here, I can hold down Shift on my keyboard and then click. So I'll have this text box selected, the text box I want to align this to, and I'll hold down Shift and I'll click on this element, and I can align to, so it says align objects to the left of selected group. So if I click that, as you can see, it's aligned to the left. In addition to align to the left, we have align to the center, and then we have align to the right, align top. This is align to the middle, and align to the bottom. So you have to be careful that when you're aligning objects, if an element is to the left of an object, and I hold on Shift and then select a second group, and I click align to left, what's going to happen is the element that's further to the left is what's going to be the group object, and the object that's further to the right is the one that's going to get aligned to the left object. As you can see here, if I was to click align to the left, then this element moves. Whereas if I was to do the reverse and select both of them, holding down the Shift key and clicking on the other object, if I was to click this option, which is aligned to the right, then the object that's further to the left gets aligned. If that makes sense. Similarly, align to the center, we'll just align both of them because to the center of each other. Then we have align to the bottom. What I'll do, I'll click on this element, hold down Shift, and then click on the second element. I can align this to the bottom. So you have to make sure that the element that you want to be aligned is on top. And if I say align to top, as you can see there, because this element was to the bottom of that element, then I can easily align them. I can align objects to the middle of each other. So if I select these two, or let's just try these two again, and then those get aligned to the center, or to the middle of each other. And then I can align elements to the page. So this means when I select an object and align them, it gets aligned to the edge of the page. As you can see here, that gets aligned there. It's aligned to the right, to the bottom of the page, to the middle, and to the center. So that's the alignment. It takes getting some used to how to sort of align elements to one another. But I mean, once you start playing around with it, you'll get a hang of it. So that's the alignment objects. We have distribute. This is quite useful for if we have like a bunch of let's just duplicate these, like a few of these. So we have some of these rectangles here on the page. We want to sort of have them evenly distributed across the page. Let's get rid of this actually, because we don't need, that's probably in the way. So what I've done there is I've clicked on a blank element on the page, and I can drag down to select all of these objects here. I'm going to go back to the alignment object tools, because I want to align them so they're to the center, to the middle of each other. back to distribute again, I can sort of specify what gaps I want between these objects. So if I want like a 5 pixel gap, let's just say 50, and then if I also select distribute objects across the page, and you can see there now they have a 50 pixel gap in between each other, which is pretty handy. And if I want them to be distributed sort of vertically instead of horizontally, I'll click on this, and then now there's a 50 pixel gap below and above each other, which is quite useful. If you know, like, for instance, these boxes as well, I had to distribute them to have at least 15 or 20 pixels between each other, which is quite useful. I can equalize the space. If I select them again, so now it will calculate the distance between the first and last object and sort of equally distribute the space between them. And it'll do the same thing vertically as well. So you can find ideas of where to apply this to on your design. So if I know that these text boxes are so like 15 pixels between each other, and let's say I had this over here like that, then I can select them all by holding Shift and clicking each of them. I'll put 15 pixels, and then I'll deselect equalize space, and then click on that. You can see now they are, sorry, I didn't put in 15. If I put in 1, if I was to select this, press the backspace key, type in 15 and press enter, so that commits that, and then I'll click on there, and you can see now there's 15 pixels between them. In actuality, I think it was a bit more, so about 20 pixels. So let's put in 20. I press enter, and then I'll do that again. And there you go. Now it's aligned to one another. So let's close that, and we move on to rulers. We have the show ruler option selected by default. This basically just shows and hides the rulers alongside the page, and as well at the top of the page we have some rulers as well. We have snap to guides. This just snaps objects to the guides, and I'll show you that in a bit, and you can clear guides. Once you have the ruler shown on the page, you can click on the ruler to the top of the page or to the left of the page. Once you click on it and you hold down on the mouse button, on the left mouse button, and you drag downwards, it'll just create a new ruler. And the same thing from the left, you click and hold, and then you drag from the left to the right, and you can sort of align objects. So the snap to guides means that when I move an object around, it will basically just is magnetically, it's almost like it's a magnet. The object sort of snaps to the line, to the ruler, sorry, and sort of aligns itself. So that's pretty handy as well, because Moonfruit is this free floating object on the page, and the ruler just enables you to align everything. Sorry, the guides enable you to align everything, and then you can just snap elements to one another, which is quite useful. And you can see there, now we have everything sort of perfectly aligning. Instead of you trying to judge with your eyes, we can do this again. And if the snap to guides is a little bit annoying because you want to sort of move this a little bit further down, I could switch that off, and then you can click on an object and drag downwards. You can see I can move it about a bit more freely, but I prefer to have it snap, so it just snaps into place. So I click on the object and drag it about, and it automatically snaps. So once I have that all aligned, I can just click clear guides, and it gets rid of the rulers, or the guides, sorry. Right, so that's the guides, the rulers and guides options. We have a bit of preferences here. We have show off page items, which enables you to to show elements off the page. If I also close that, you can see that the element is cut off. This is just within the editor because sometimes you may have an element off the page and not realize. And here, this enables you to see that it's not on the page. We have customized shortcuts, which are these quick settings here. You can, excuse me, if they're selected, so if they're highlighted in blue, that means they are visible, and if you deselect them, if you select them again, sorry, it will turn gray, which means now if I click customize shortcuts again, the delete icon has gone. And I can click it again to reactivate it. You can see the delete shortcut is there again. And so that's it for preferences. So yeah, that's the edit menu / options that we've covered. In the next video, we're going to cover the insert menu, which will enable us to add more objects to the page. Thank you so much for watching. Please do like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.